Hello everyone and welcome back to Minecraft on the Vortex server. You're currently looking at my base and I've made a fairly massive addition to it, and for some reason my frame rate is really low. Anyway, this is it. You might have seen this if you watched the ZipCrowd server. Pretty much anyone on there, or the server tour, anything like that. Let me just quickly try and turn the weather off. Is it all particles off? No, that just disables the sound. Okay, I don't think I can turn the weather off. Yeah, we still have the rain issue. It probably doesn't stop raining until we restart the server. Anyway, very nice villager trading hall. It's self-refilled. I'll get to that bit later. What you do is you just get your villagers and then you try to trade with them. So, for example, sell me some glowstone person. And then let's see, he should get particled soon to indicate he's got a new trade. And now he is willing to enchant diamond chestplate with protection 2. Which is not a trade I'm interested in at the moment, and it seems a little too expensive to me because I have to invest a diamond chestplate, so I don't want him anymore. I push the button, the system automatically gets rid of him. I'll show you how in a second. I can't be too close to it because of villager mechanics. They're all facing like sideways, but I can't change that. It doesn't matter much anyway. It's because of the way you pick them up with the minecarts, I think. But yeah, up there is the villager buffer, which a villager should now already have been picked up from, and he's going to fill this slot in a moment, and I'll get to how it works in a second. If you want a tutorial, I think it might have been Milky Way who built it, who made a tutorial on this. If you just watch the ZipCrowd server tour, it's linked to it, so that's fine. And now I get a villager who's selling me a bookshelf. So yeah, basically the point of this is I want lots of emeralds so I can then use them to buy diamond tools, because I don't want to use diamonds for those, basically. For example, this guy is selling diamond chest plates, this guy is selling diamond pickaxes, someone here is selling a diamond helmet, and I think someone was selling diamond shovels as well, but I'm not certain who that was. Must have been this guy? Yeah. So I can get diamond tools from these guys for emeralds. Now the exchange rate is technically it's terrible, but because I can use the system to basically have a ton of villagers that are just used to get emeralds. So if he doesn't have like a good trade selling, buying paper or anything that I can mass produce, I just get rid of him. And that way I will have effectively unlimited access to emeralds. I will also try to get a perfect iron villager. Again, that would mean the same as the ZipCrowd server guys have one. It means it's a villager who has all his traits, all the possible traits he has available. So a blacksmith has a certain amount of traits that he could have. Like he offers to trade all the kinds of armor and stuff. And if the very last trait he gets is also the very last possible one he gets, which is buying iron, he's never going to lose that trait, basically. It means I can use that trait for as often as he will let me, and then when he resets, he will have that trait again. So I can trade him infinite amounts of iron for infinite amounts of emerald, which means I will need an iron farm soon, which is going over there. But yeah, that way I will have access to unlimited emeralds if I could get that kind of villager, which is difficult because the chances are low. But if I have unlimited emeralds and thus unlimited diamond tools as well, which is very handy. This is a kind of an overflow chest. If you trade something and the trade window closes for some reason, sometimes the items get dropped, basically, and there's a hopper chain feeding into this, which basically collects all these items. Not very interesting. This is the villager disposal system, so if I press the button, the villager will get carried out, like this, in a minecart, of course. There's no other way to eject villagers from minecarts, as far as I know. Well, no reasonably useful one. The villager then rides this kind of roller coaster line, and he will be moved through these very nasty lava traps. And as a consequence, he will burn to death, and he will be burnt to death on that straight streak over there. I'll just hop over there. Yeah. So this bit here, he's going to die at some point on this straight bit. I don't know where exactly, I've never checked, it doesn't matter. But somewhere on this straight bit, basically, he dies. But the minecart obviously keeps going, which is why there have to be so many powered rails. Empty minecarts, they lose momentum very fast. So then an empty minecart would be going the way I'm hopping right now and be popped into this cactus, which would break it. But the cactus does not destroy it, it just becomes a dropped item, and these hoppers will pick it up. It goes through this chest, and this dispenser here will fire it out, unless there is already a minecart kind of waiting. If this dispenser fires it out, it goes out here, lands on this detector rail, which basically, this detector rail just tells the system that it currently has an empty minecart going around. And then the empty minecart will go down here. If there's a villager here, it will pick it up. If not, it'll go back. But because it's empty, it won't be able to go all the way up. So it'll trigger this detector rail again, but that doesn't matter because there's an RS knowledge attached. And he'll go back down, and he'll keep going back and forth until there's a new villager here, basically. I'll get to that in a second, where they come from. If the villager has been picked up, though, he will have enough momentum to make it up this hill, go all the way over here, and on this detector rail he's going to reset the RS knowledge, which you can see here. It's basically depending on where the redstone block is, that is the state of the RS knowledge. You could build any kind of RS knowledge for this. This is just the one that was used in the tutorial, and it's the one I'm going with as well. It seems like the most useful one for this situation. But yeah. And then when he's here, this kind of type of rail is fairly difficult to set up, but what it does is, when he gets here, he will basically be on this slope, and because he's on the slope, he'll fall down, and he'll try to get in here, but since there's a villager in here, because this first, like all the slots are filled at the moment, he can't go in here, so he'll go back up here, and because this is curved, he'll go down and further forward, and he'll try to get into this slot. He can't because it's already full, and so forth, and then he'll go back, and up here he's on the slope, go down, and he'll just basically try every single slot if there's an open one. And because the only way a minecart could appear up there is when I've emptied a slot, it means at some point he's going to go into some sort of slot. If there was no empty slot, which could only happen if somehow more minecarts were in the system than I put into it, he would fall down here, which would technically get rid of him because he's going to die in the lava, but it won't get rid of the minecart. So there would be the way to solve this, but I'm not assuming it's an issue because this is not a public farm. It cannot be, because of the way villager trading works. You can't make this public. Well, you could, but I want to use it for more specific purposes, so I can't make it public. I will build a second one of these, basically. Assuming someone donates some of the resources, because the powered rails are fairly expensive in the amounts I need. It's basically one gold ingot, sorry. 1 gold ingot per powered rail on average. You need 6 for 6, so yeah. And anyway, the new villagers, which is the last bit of the system really, the new villagers here, you see them standing on a pressure plate. This uses a kind of new feature in Minecraft 1.7, that these pressure plates, they're able to detect how many villagers are standing on them, basically. And by altering how many items I have in this furnace, as you can see, I can basically set a limit as for how many villagers are supposed to be kept in here as a backup. Like, this is the kind of buffer. I don't know how many villagers 19 dirt corresponds to, probably 70-ish. I don't know though. But anyway, this will fill up, and when that limit is reached, set by the number of items in that furnace, I could use a chest or anything like that. A chest would allow me smaller intervals, but it would require more items to be put into this, basically. I just used the furnace and the comparator to set a specific strength of redstone signal, which this comparator then compares to that one from the pressure plate, and it only outputs if there's more on the pressure plate, to put it simply. And then if that is on, which it currently isn't, but it's close. How many villagers is that? Yeah, it's 77 entities, but that's counting some of the ones downstairs, so... But yeah, it now has come to the conclusion there's enough villagers. If I put more wool into this, it should technically... Yeah, unpower. The first wasn't enough to hit the next level of redstone power, basically. This is now powered, meaning I have to put a repeater here because the power output from that is fairly weak. I could do this another way without using the furnace, but basically this comparator here will output depending on how many villagers. Well, no, the pressure plate will output depending on how many villagers are on that. And I could just use the length of this redstone wire to only be able to reach the pistons when the required amount of villagers is there. Anyway, this leads to a very nice thing. Technically, I would not have needed to build this thing the size I did. It's 9 by 9, but I just really liked the wall design. It felt so cool, and I just wanted to build it. So this goes down to wire level 1918, I think. And this is a vertical redstone torch line. No, not torch line, just a wet redstone wire going all the way down. And yeah, there's the ladder. And this is basically the system which disables breeding. So, because this the chamber upstairs is full enough, I set the limit using the furnace, as I said. No, I don't like ender pearling around here, but I've gotten used to it a little more. That means this sticky piston here is powered, so the villager gets pushed up. I can definitely hear a zombie, so I have to take care of that because of the zombie lag, but we'll get to that. This villager is now out of range of these doors, so he does not detect any doors anymore. He doesn't want to breed, so there's no more villagers. If he's in the down position, he detects the doors and he's alone, so he wants to breed. And these guys up here will try to breed with him. Instead, they'll breed with each other, but they'll always see him as a lonely villager, so they'll try to keep breeding with him, no matter how many villagers are in here. I think it's probably about 100, which is why they're so far down. If they're down there, they're not causing lag. Well, almost none. The lag would be caused by zombies, which I'll have to deal with. Anyway, oh, I guess one more thing. The villagers are spawning in that chamber, and every time that day-night sensor basically changes, so every day-night cycle, every Minecraft day, which is 15 minutes, I think, roughly, the baby villagers are pushed into the next chamber here, where they're just standing because they're too small, and when they grow up, they're large enough to go up the water elevator. And because I made a slight mistake constructing the water elevator, I had to put a bit of a dent in it, but that worked out fairly well. I don't think the villagers suffocate in it. I've never seen one suffocate, and according to my knowledge of water mechanics, it shouldn't. Basically, they go all the way up here, and then the water stream just pushes them over one block, and then they're going up. And that sign has writing on it because, yeah, that's what happens when you place signs while you're moving. It's no relevant writing. And anyway, then they just get transported up here and stand on there, and as I said, when that's full enough, it'll send a signal down. So yeah, I've not been at this for very long, and I've gotten just over a stack of emeralds. So yes, thank you. I could swear I had some chests somewhere, but I may have moved them. Like empty chests. Obviously these are chests. Yeah, most of these items are for trading. Or from trading, so I'll actually keep that on my bar for now. And I'll keep the ender pearls too. Don't need that and that though. I kind of really like the design with the sandstone and nether brick. I will make this a little nicer, but for now it's functionally fully finished, and that's okay with me. Now, what I wanted to do this time is actually work on a different kind of, well, on a related issue, basically. Probably won't get to use this dirt at the moment, but it doesn't matter. So villager trading is usually quite a bad deal for the player. The only reason this is a good deal for me is because I have as many villagers as I like, so I can pick and choose which deals I want. And obviously the best for me are things which I can fully automate, because they don't require any effort. So any deals, the items for which I can make by myself without doing anything for it really, are to my mind, wow, that was a nice hit, are to my mind good deals. So first in that is raw chicken. You can fully automate the growing of raw chicken, and there's Devil Hunter. So let's give him some big W's because he loves them so much. I kind of made a mistake at some point. Yeah, he does love the W's. I opened that up, so I'm kind of low on chicken now, but I've got some, which is fine. It's currently in the breeding mode, this automatic chicken farm, which I've shown you before, which means the eggs that that the chicken lay will get shot out on the top, and I will get more chicken accumulating. Eventually I'll switch it back to farming mode. Instead of the lava source block, which was here before, there's now a solid block, end stone in this case because I just had one on hand. It means that the chicken, when they grow up, they will still die from suffocation, but they will not burn, so I will get raw chicken and feathers. And raw chicken is one of the trades that villagers offer. Sometimes they will buy raw chicken, I don't know, 14 to 17 for an emerald or something. I don't know, it's fairly bad as a deal, but if I can generate it completely without doing anything for it, that has to be a good idea. I know occasionally villagers buy books, and I can farm books fairly well, but not fully automatic as far as I know, because I cannot do that with cows. Now another thing I will build an automatic farm for is reed, because reed is, you can also fully automate your reed farm, and then all you have to do is craft it into paper, which is fairly easy. And that's actually the point where this episode comes in. The villagers up here, they're perfectly far away from any possible spawning spaces for zombies, so these will not cause zombie lag. And there's still some rising up because when the breeding stops, there's obviously still some young villagers, and these will continue growing up and be put into the backup position. So this will eventually have slightly more than I've set the limit to be. Anyway, it's beside the point. I've already been talking for way too long. So the issue is there's caves around here somewhere where there might be enemies. And just by pure chance, literally pure chance, I had not planned this out, I've actually come across one. Like, I knew there was one somewhere here, but I did not plan it to be right here. And I've already explored this cave. I can hear a slime. To some extent, but I know that there are some dark spots left in this area. Don't think that one could spawn anything, but you never know. So yeah, I just use redstone blocks to power the torches, like the redstone lamps, just because I could. Okay, I don't think it really goes on here, so... And you just heard the Skype noise, so I'm gonna take care of that in a moment. Yes, you guys are noisy, I get it. You wanna talk to someone, I guess. Anyway, I will be right back. Oh wow, I've spoken for 19 minutes straight on my farm that I didn't even design myself. The design is by, as I said, Milky Way, I believe. If I remember, I'll link to the tutorial, but you should be able to find it anyway. It's 1.7 trading hall tutorial thing. Should be easy enough to find if you just Google it. I can hear some slimes though, so I will go slightly above Oh, here we are. Wow, did not know that. I'll go slightly above my usual 20 minutes. Not to 30, but maybe 29 or so. The last episode was shorter than I wanted it to be as well, so... just close this off. And here I am. Obviously, slime spawning is unpreventable, but slimes do take up the hostile mob cap, I believe. So that should prevent, or should at least decrease zombie spawn rate, which is nice. And there's one above me. I have not actually spoken about what I really want to do in the next few episodes, and well, I've kind of spoken about it. I want to do things similar to the chicken farm. I want to automate as much as possible, at least some farms for villager stuff, which means I need a more automated cow farm. Well, actually, not really more automated cow farm. I will actually do one for pigs. I don't really have an interest in making a more automated pig or cow farm than what I have. I'll just have a kind of space where the cow/pigs can stand. And I will just kill them with a looting sword to get the raw meat, because the villagers want the raw meat. Similarly, for the wheat, I will make one of these automatic things that automatically harvest, so I only have to replant manually. I guess that'll be a help. And all of these will probably be connected somehow to the like the downward shaft that I showed you. But now, because I really didn't think I would spend that long talking about the farm. I guess it's kind of interesting, like it uses interesting mechanics. Being underwater still feels a little weird somehow. It doesn't, like, you can see the overworld so clear. Just look at it. It looks almost like there wasn't any water if it weren't for the particles. So yeah, it feels a little, I don't know, it felt a little watery beforehand, I think. They changed the rendering somehow. And also, fun thing, which I've shown you before, I think, we get... wait a second. Okay, so this is the art shader. Here we've got a bumpy shader. Here we've got blobs. I really like this one. So if you want me to record episodes in like a weird shader, anything that is playable, I will do it. Like the pencil one, I think looks really cool, and it's kind of okay to play in. Like, I wouldn't cave in this shader, obviously, but it does look fairly cool. So yeah, what else do we have? This one is strange. I don't know if it does anything. I think it just makes the colors a little brighter, maybe? But yeah, it looks a little different in the background, but not very much. I think it just makes things stand out a little more, but yeah. This one's not very exciting. This one is, it's called Deconverge. I don't know, I think it just splits up certain color bits. It shifts the different color layers, like the red, blue, and green. I think it just shifts them a little bit, so this is not like the 3D stuff. It's just shifting layers. This is also playable, it just probably will give people a headache. This one is not playable. I will not play in this, no matter how much you ask. It will not happen. This one, it's doable. It will probably give you terrible headaches as well, and eye cancer and stuff, because the water looks like urine. What else do we have? Yeah, NTSC. So this looks like a very old screen, like really, really old. Again, this is playable. I will have to up the brightness a little bit, but it's possible. This one, just gives outlines to things, stronger outlines, I guess. It's cool, not really that different, but again, if you want me to play an episode in this, tell me. I have no idea. Oh, whoa, this is trippy. Wow. Okay, I will also be willing to play an episode in this. It will not be a very movement-intense episode, though, I guess. Yeah, this is nice. What else do we have? Similar old screen view thing, but this one's a lot more, well, bright. The other one was really dark. What else do we have? I've got no idea what this one actually does. It's called Sobel. Let's just call it Sobel. It's quite cool and also almost playable. TNT is good. Yes, Devil Hunter, it really is. This one is not going to be playable. It looks very, very old school. A little too old school for my taste, to be honest. What else do we have? This is Desaturate. It just makes things look a little more grey. And Justice is back. He's from Lithuania, so that's interesting. Again, not playable. This looks like anything 2 meters away does to me, so let's not do that. Whoa. Okay, if you take LSD and watch an episode of me playing in this, I think things will look fairly normal to you. Okay, and Devil Hunter is so concerned about stream viewers that he won't stream while someone else is streaming Minecraft who's popular. Meh. Blobs is nice. Like, it looks cool. I don't think it's really going to be playable in, but yeah. I don't see his problem. What he streams is usually him building stuff, which I think the Minecraft people don't really do, so he should be okay, technically. I mean, he's hitting something that they don't, but no, it's his choice. I occasionally stream as well, but not that I've ever actually gotten viewers, so, and it's very occasional. This looks very artsy, though, so not bad. Anti-alias? Yeah. Anti-aliasing is supposed to increase quality. Doing tree runs? Tree runs? I'll have to ask him about that. And this is us back to normal. Okay, I'll just ask him quickly. Let's see what tree runs are. Maybe he's talking about RuneScape, but I wouldn't know how you get XP from trees. Ah, it is RuneScape. Guessed right. Okay, well anyway, these guys still make noises, but that can't be helped. The reason sorry about that. The reason, by the way, I cannot be so close, like I can't show you the actual killing process, is that if I'm too close to the villager when he dies, the village will detect me as a murderer, or at least a causer of trouble, and they will stop breeding for a while, which technically would not be bad at the moment because they've stopped anyway. But you get the point. And now they're just talking about RuneScape. So, despite me just having talked a lot, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!